Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch One, and thanks for logging on. Today, we're looking at the Lange Sohne 1815, 18 carats in pink gold. This is the 2009 to 2014 edition of the watch, featuring the 40mm case in 18 karat rose gold. Its successor was 38.5. That noted, you can click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen at any time to see this 40mm Lange 1815 with additional accessories included, high-resolution images, and naturally complete pricing details. Now, on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see that the watch has an impressive presence. Now, this comes more as a result of its elegance, beautiful proportions, and detailing than outright size, although it is perhaps more wearable on a large range of wrists than its smaller successor, which bowed in 2014. The bottom line is it's not an oversized watch by any means. Now, it has a beautifully domed bezel that allows it to slide easily under a dress cuff. It's only 9.5 millimeters thick, and with that domed bezel, again, any sleeve can clear this watch. Now, from lug to lug, it's reasonably compact for a larger watch, 47.5 millimeters, although the 40mm size of the case may be on the larger end of the pure dress watch spectrum. The 47.5 lug to lug is very compact and traditional, allowing this watch to fit naturally and with great proportion on wrists as small as, in my estimation, 13.5 centimeters. Now, it does have impressive heft on the wrist. There's a good amount of rose gold in here, and I do want to clarify, this is rose gold, not Lange's proprietary honey gold. It's matched with a beautifully traditional, minimally bolstered, rectangular scale brown alligator leather strap that really contributes to the warmth of the complete ensemble, and it does have just a little bit of swell as it approaches the lug to make for a nice visual transition. It also has traditional straight spring bars retaining the strap so that you can easily pull it down and around the tight curve of a smaller wrist. Now, the pin buckle will be familiar to connoisseurs of Lange. It features a little bit of protection against the so-called pinned strap. The strap buckled so tight that it becomes pinned on the wrist, and that's what that retaining bar is designed to avoid. So if you do have that smaller wrist and you have to crank it down, it's not going to get stuck there. It's not going to get beached on your forearm thanks to the clever design of this elegant pin buckle. Now, the watch itself features elements that are perhaps more evocative of a pocket watch than a wristwatch, and that's very deliberate. 1815 was the year of Ferdinand Adolf Lange's birth. Now, he is our hero, starting the eponymous manufacturer in Glashütte, Germany in 1845. He was the forerunner of the long line that today is represented by the senior-most of the Lange family, Walter Lange. Now, the watch itself takes the elements from the pocket watches of the 19th century and integrates them into the 40mm format. You see the full railroad-style minute track outboard of stylized painted full Arabic numerals. You'll also note that there's a little bit of a recess to the center dial, as well as the sunken second subdial at 6 o'clock. Again, itself a pocket watch reference. Beautiful heat blue oxidized Alpha-style hands add a little bit of flair, quite dashing at center. They have more elegance to them than the heavier look of Dauphines, and it's a nice choice to complement the beautifully two-tone black and silver aesthetic of the dial. Just enough color to pop, just enough color to set off that silver base. Now, on the case back, many would argue that this is in fact the main event for any Lange. It's also notable that a Lange Sohne of Glashütte has one standard of finish. They have a high standard, and when you pay more money, you get more complexity and more features, not a better finished watch, and that's delightful if you're buying a watch from one of the entry-level lines, such as the 1815. You can see all of the elements that have made the manufacturer stand out. You can see the three-quarter bridge, another pocket watch element. You can see the gold chaton, fixed by screws holding the pivot jewels of the train. Again, another element drawn from the pocket watch era. You can see both polished case clamp screws and heat oxidized blue screws assembling the movement. You can see black polish on the cover of the escape wheel, as well as the swan's neck regulator atop a hand-engraved balance cock. There's even a tight and even perlage across the base plate, beautifully rendered, and what are known as Glashütte stripes, not Geneva waves, across the barrel bridge. Now, you'll also notice that there's more of a honey tone to this movement than we're used to seeing on Swiss rhodium-plated brass, and that's because it is untreated German silver. Now, it is German, it's anything but silver, being an alloy of nickel and copper. That's what gives it its deep golden hue, and it does become more intense with age. Now, you'll also note that the deep engravings of the balance cock are rather elaborate, so elaborate in fact that each artisan who creates these components for Lange has a bit of a personal signature, and you can order a book from the manufacturer to reference your watch and find the face and the name of the exact person who created that signature element. Now, the movement itself is known as a Lange L051, which essentially means that development started in 2005. The first two numbers of a Lange movement representing the year engineering work on the movement started. Now, it's important to note that as of 2007, the 1815 line was discontinued. It was resumed in 2009, and this watch was one of the leading lights, effectively reestablishing an iconic model line for the still young, reborn Lange manufacturer. This is a watch that has it all, right down to the small details, such as hacking seconds to allow precise synchronization, stopping the balance in the seconds hand. This is a watch that's refined in every modern sense, but pays immense, one might even say unreserved homage to its antecedents, to its predecessors, to the heritage, not just of its manufacturer, but of the man whose name is borne by the modern manufacturer. You can see this Lange 1815 and buy it on our website, watchyouwant.com.